Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio down here in Mississippi at WYAD 92.3 FM. We welcome you all back to our program. Also, those tuning in through our online affiliates around the world, including our iHeartRadio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome author DJ Blackmore to our program today to discuss not only about her love of writing, but also what it's been like for her to share that with the world and to be able to see the response. DJ is celebrating the release of her book, FOLLY, which is book 2 in her series. I want to talk to her not only about the series, but also what it's been like for her to literally go back in time with these characters, to bring them to us, and to be able to see the way that people are responding to them. If you're still hearing about DJ, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can be able to stay connected with her and her work. But DJ, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hello, Cyrus. It's lovely to talk to you today. Although for me, I must say, Cyrus.
Oh yeah. And you're in Australia, is that right, DJ?
That's correct, Cyrus. And actually, it's still almost nighttime here. I didn't realize the time zone was so very different. So I'm just getting out of bed now and having a cup of Milo, and it's still dark outside.
Well, look, we appreciate you being able to join us, DJ, and congratulations to you on FOLLY in this series. Let's start off by talking about this. I mean, what has it been like for you, DJ, to not only to be able to share your love of writing with the world, but to be able to see the response?
Cyrus, it's for me been a very slow process. I've been writing since I was really quite young, and I guess I've always had a love of history. It's just very, very much part of who I am as a person. So for me, it just seems a natural progression to write what I've experienced to a certain extent. Because, okay, yes, I'm writing fiction, but at the same time, fiction is never just that. You're always writing in parts of what you've experienced, whether it be day to day, whether it be within relationships, so there's always part of yourself in there.
Right. What a great point. I think that really comes across in FOLLY, DJ, even though this is book 2 of the series, and we can definitely talk a bit, if you'd like, about Charter to Redemption. But in reading this book, I think that there were 3 things that really struck me. One is that no matter where the book might be set, of course, in this case being the 1800s, that people are always people. There are always going to be challenges, regardless of what generation we're looking at. But the second thing that I thought about is how there's so many conflicts, especially as we're able to see in the book with Emma, and even what's going on around her of, being able to have one's own mind and to be able to make decisions for oneself. I definitely want to be able to talk to you about that. But the third thing is also that, when it comes to people, we have to be willing to take a chance. Not everyone is going to be good. Not everyone's going to be bad, but the importance of being able to trust and to take that chance. And we can talk about that a bit as well. When you went into FOLLY, DJ, did you know that there were different topics that you wanted to be able to address?
To a certain extent, yes. I wanted to be able to convey that, we are not all good. We are not all bad. We all make wrong choices. So regardless of how people look at us, regardless of what people say, there's a fine line between it. And I really wanted to explore that. So yes, I knew that I wanted to. Yes, I knew that I wanted to talk about that. But for me, Cyrus, when I start writing a book, and throughout the whole book, more especially in the book which is going to be coming up, which is not going to be until August, which is actually a contemporary rural romance, totally different. For me, I start writing a book and I just write as I'm feeling led. I don't have any skeleton scenes. There are no lists of events. I write and just keep on going. It's kind of like it's kind of like automatic writing, and in a way, it may sound a bit corny, but you know how you have the medium and they just, and the spirit is upon them and they just start writing. They don't know what they're writing. In a certain sense, I think it's the same. I just write. Sometimes you might think, no, that's not it. That's not right, and you get rid of it. I don't do that very often, but sometimes I think, no, I'll just get rid of that whole chapter. But generally, just pick up the pen, so to speak, and write.
Right. And DJ, for you, were you at all surprised, or did you expect that the world that you had created would be something that would be universal? And what I mean by that is something that people around the world, no matter where they lived, would be able to see themselves in, or at least to be able to enjoy the experience of taking along with you.
Cyrus, that's the really nice thing. That's the really nice thing that that authors do experience. The fact that, as you say, people everywhere can read your words. They don't just read your words, though. They read your heart. And that is a wondrous thing. And I don't think you really do understand that until it happens. You can't understand it because you've never experienced it. You know how they say you don't know what it's like until you walk in someone's shoes. Well, it's the same thing. Right. You can't know what it's going to be like until it happens. And that is a very humbling thing, Cyrus. It really is, because it's such an honour to be able to share your words, whatever the medium, whether it be a song, acting, anything like that. It really, really is an honour to be able to do that.
For sure. Well, I'll tell you, and it's an honor now that readers are able to take along with you, DJ. We're going to talk more about that. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome author DJ Blackmore to our program. She's joining us live from Australia today for us to be able to talk to us not only about her literary journey, but also what it's been like for her to create characters that she loves and that now readers are able to enjoy as well. When you wrote Charter to Redemption, DJ, did you know that this was going to be a series, or did you feel as though there were stories that you still wanted to be able to tell?
No, I didn't know that it was going to be a series. I didn't know that. But when I finished Charter to Redemption, I thought, gee, it would be really good if this could happen. I didn't feel, it's like once you bring characters to life, Cyrus, it is like they, in a certain sense, well, they're alive. In a certain sense, you give birth to them, so to speak. And they are very much real characters. For instance, I will be driving to Newcastle, which is where Charter to Redemption and FOLLY are set. Mm-hmm. And even now, I will be driving past, and I'll go past the Hunter River, and I'll be thinking about, that's where Gideon Quinn rode down, or that's where Tobias rode down the river, and I'm thinking, no, they didn't. But, once they have been birthed, they're kind of, in a way, there forever. And I've had reviewers say to me, there must be another book. I can imagine them, and somebody will say to me, I can imagine them, in the gold rush, say 10 years down the track, or however many years down the track, and and they're in their middle age, and I can imagine this happening. And so, in a certain sense, once they're there, they're just in some way as real as what you and I are, most especially to me. But you know what it's like, Cyrus, when you read a book that you really engage with, that you really enjoy, they're always there, aren't they? It's like you have a memory of them every now and again. And you think, oh, yeah, and it makes you feel a certain way. So, yeah, they kind of, they do stick around. Whether there will be a third book, I really don't know, because I get pushed and pulled in so many directions. And I think to myself, shall I do this one or shall I do this? And sometimes, for instance, the other day, I It may sound a bit creepy, but my daughter was out here from Holland, and she was visiting, and we went to a colonial burial ground called Glebe Burial Ground, just around here, and we read what's on the headstones, and how long these people lived for, and you can't help but be affected by that kind of thing, especially when you have, say, whole families that die and what have you, and because it's so different from the life we live now. We're so lucky. We have, education and health, and it's just so totally different in some respects, yet we are still the same kind of people, right? But you look at these things, and I'll just be driving along. I think I've forgotten the whole thing, and then all of a sudden something will pop into my head, and it's like they're knocking on the door, and they say, "Open the door, tell my story." That is what it's like. And I said out loud, "Oh, please don't bother me with this now." Because, sometimes you think, I've got so much other stuff I need to do. I'll think about your story later. But that's kind of what it's like.
Right. What a great thing. I mean, and it's great to be able for you to be able to share that with us as well. There is an elephant in the room here, is the saying that we use, DJ, when it comes to some of the topics that you address in, and I apologize, I called it FOLLY, and it's pronounced FOLLY?
No, FOLLY. FOLLY, yes.
Oh,
correct.
It is FOLLY. Okay, all right, okay. Well, and that is that there are some bad things that happen in this book, and I'll mention this without giving anything away, but there are some injustices that take place, and one of the things that you write in the book, because one of the people that deal with an injustice is a black girl, and one of the things that you say in the book, and I love the way that you worded this: no woman, you write, black or white, deserved the careless disregard that the redcoat had served her with. What was it like for you to think about these different characters that were going through these challenges, going through these bad things? What was it like for you to slip into their skin and to look at the world through their eyes?
That's a very interesting question, Cyrus. More especially, say when you're talking about the Aboriginal girl. And I think, for example, where Lily was concerned, she needed her story to be told too, and it was that one, for example, was very, very sad. Very sad for me, because I think it showed so much about the Aboriginal plight, sort of in a certain sense disregarded, cast off, and that for me, I guess slipping from one character to another, because in a certain sense, as I said, Cyrus, they have different lives. It just seems a natural progression, but for me, that one really touched.
Right. Yeah. And I think there were other scenes in the book as well. I have to talk about Emma and the fact that here, as you're reading the book, it's so interesting, DJ, because in reading this book, there are some parts of it that make you think about 2018, right? I mean, but then you have to remember, okay, wait a minute. This is a different time. Women were looked at differently. They were treated differently in the 1800s. Emma being, one of those women, there are some decisions, of course, that women did not have a lot of say over. Unfortunately, themselves and their bodies and what happened to them, the decisions that were made were sometimes part of that. I mean, what was that like for you to experience that along with Emma and to think about, the decisions she was faced with and the choices or the lack of choices that she had?
That's a very interesting point, Cyrus, and that's perhaps something too that, for example, people who don't normally read historical fiction would really consider. As you say, you think you're in 2018, and you think, hold on a minute, and for instance, we know that when at the very, very beginning, she comes to New South Wales on a wing and a prayer, trusting that the person she is meant to marry is all he says he is, but things aren't always as they seem. And
right.
she is honor bound. She is honor bound. You know, in those days, a man's word, most especially a woman's, were dealt on a handshake. That's not true anymore. You know, if a woman or a man doesn't want anything, they're like, you know where you can go. Whereas in those days, your word was your honor. So when she comes to New South Wales, she has to go through with what she says she will. And it is so very different now, Cyrus. It is so very different. In some ways, though, I think that women, it is still there. It is still there that women do what is traditionally expected of them. I guess that depends from person to person. But yeah, things are so very different. What was expected of a woman, the social mores that had to be adhered to, you know, the periods of mourning. You know, you didn't just go around with a convict. Oh my goodness, you didn't even speak to a convict in general. It would be so dirty. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the amazing thing, and I think too the choice, or as I mentioned earlier, DJ, the lack of choices, because when she doesn't, you know, and again, not to spoil it for those who haven't read it, because we're going to let them know how they can be able to do that. But I think, you know, to realize that you know, to know that someone is there for them. There's a great conversation that happens in the book where Emma is expressing her concern, and she's told, I won't let them hurt you, you know, and I think, you know, that is the thing, to know that someone is looking out for you instead of just going along with the way that things are. You know, there's the other thing, little subtle things you wrote in this book, DJ, which is why I'm glad I got a chance to write it. One of them is when they're going to exhume the body. And someone says, and again, not to spoil it, but someone says, you know, well, what does it matter now? And the response that you wrote back was, it matters to the family. I thought about again in 2018 when it comes to the search for justice, right? I mean, are those little things part of the fun for you to be able to show those comparisons from the 1800s to now?
You know, Cyrus, it's not even a conscious thought. It's not even a conscious thought. But absolutely, that is what does happen, because you can't help but go, wow, and throw yourself into that situation. And but that is what I really love, is that we can look at those people of yesterday and they are essentially exactly the same as what we are. You know, this person is still a mother's child, you know, regardless of the time, regardless of whether it was yesterday, whether it's tomorrow. A mother's child is a mother's child. And you can feel the same emotion regardless of time or space or nationality.
Right.
And I guess
that is so true.
That's the... Sorry, I think that's the thing with, you know, people tend to look at history and go, oh, you know, some people think, oh, I don't know, I don't like history. But all history is to me is people. Okay, yeah, you know, I don't worry about the times, all that sort of stuff. That's the unimportant bit. It's people. That's what we're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a powerful book, DJ, and what is so great for those in the United States, you all are in for a treat. The book is on a big sale right now through Amazon.com. You can get the paperback at the time that we're having this conversation today for basically nothing. It's on sale right now for $1.18 right now on paperback. The Kindle edition is available for less than $6 for you Kindle readers out there. This is a book that you definitely want to read, and I think you will discuss. Did you mean to write it? Because I have not read the first book in the series, DJ. I have not read Charter to Redemption. Did you mean to write it so that this was a book that would stand on its own?
Yes, I did, Cyrus. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's important when you read a sequel that you're able to pick it up, regardless of whether you've read the first one, to be able to just pick it up and enjoy it. They are great, read side by side. But seriously, actually, one lady said to me, "Oh my goodness," she said, "I've just read the second one first." I said, "That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it." But but most certainly, I think that's good. That's important. You need to, when you first open a book and you go to the first page, regardless of whether it's the first book or the second or the third, it needs to hit you, and you should be able to just pick it up and go from there.
Right. You mentioned something interesting, and I would not be a good interviewer if I did not mention this, DJ. You said you did not know if there would be a third. Does that mean that there are other characters that are calling to you?
I'm not sure. I don't think they are calling to me, but you never know. As I said, there's so much happening right now. I think I did mention that. I'm just about to have another book released with Riser Press in Australia, and it's a contemporary rural romance intrigue. I always write. Intrigue for me is so exciting. So in that respect, it is the same, but it's something a little bit different in that it's contemporary. But and I've just finished another one which I'm editing, which is called Rising Sun, and it's also contemporary romance / intrigue as well. So you just get buffeted on all sides, and you just think, oh well, could I do a third book? But no, Cyrus, I don't think they're really calling to me at the moment. But Tobias and Emma, I kind of hold them close, and I cradle them close, and they sort of just sit there with me and wait. Perhaps we'll see.
Well, we will be definitely staying connected with you, DJ, so that we can find out what's happening next. I'm excited about that. I know that you are on social media. That's the last thing I want to talk to you about. What has that experience been like for you? It's one thing to have your books available for the world, but what has it been like for you to be a part of the social media community?
Well, that's something which I think you have to. There's got to be time for writing, and fortunately or unfortunately, there also has to be time for social media, because that's where people can really get to know you, and you can really build your social platform, as you would know, Cyrus, which is just so important. But I guess for me, Cyrus, I don't even have a TV here at home, so even though like everyone else, I guess I can waste a little bit of time on Facebook. Sometimes, you just zone out and it's like you're watching that TV screen. But on the whole, I would prefer to just go out and get on the mountain bike or go for a walk or, do something like that, get in a kayak. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. I totally understand. I totally understand that. And I think, it's one of those things, like you said, it's where people are, but it's great that you have that connection with the world, DJ, and I think that is what is so great. And, and then you're able to share, with your readers. I mean, that's another big thing. So you are able to connect with us that way, and so we appreciate that. Again, everyone, Folly is a new book by author DJ Blackmore. It's available now at an amazing price on Amazon.com. You need to go right now and get it before the price changes. Because it is such a good price. It's such a good price, DJ, I have to admit. I went and bought 2 more of the paperbacks. So I would definitely invite you all to get that. If you're an Amazon Prime member, that's free 2-day shipping. You cannot beat that deal. And then, of course, also if you're a Kindle reader, the book is available on Kindle as well. If you're online, you can definitely stay connected with DJ. You can find her at djblackmore.com.au. Again, that's djblackmore.com.au. So make sure you all take advantage of that. And DJ, really appreciate this time with you. Enjoyed the conversation, and looking forward to having you back on with us again.
I very much look forward to that, Cyrus. It's been a really enjoyable chat, and I appreciate it very much. It's been really, really nice to connect with you. It's always nice to talk to people who have read your books, because that's what it's all about, right? There's no point writing a book and sitting it on a shelf. You know, it's about sharing. It's all about sharing. So I appreciate it very much, and I look forward to next time we can talk. Certainly do.
Same. Look, definitely the same here. Thank you again for that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.